तो दोस्तों अभी हम शुरू करने जा रहे हैं एडलेस स्ट्राइकर्स वर्सेस ब्रिस्बेन हीट का मैच। आप लोग हमारे साथ जुड़ जाइए और अलग से मैच के बारे में कोई भी डिटेल्स जानना हो, कोई फैंटेसी के बारे में जानना हो, कोई सेशन के बारे में, एंट्री के बारे में, कौन जीतेगा इसके बारे में जानना हो, डिटेल्स चाहिए पूरा मैच का, तो मेरा जो टेलीग्राम चैनल है वो मेरे अबाउट पे दिया हुआ है, मेरा डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिया हुआ है, मेरा कमेंट्स में आ जाएगा कुछ देर बाद, तो उसमें ज्वाइन कर लीजिएगा। तो हम लोग शुरू कर रहे हैं।
Yeah, hopefully we can play really well. No, it's a tough call with the selection, but in terms of this wicket here tonight, is there a reason why you've decided to bowl first?
Yeah, I just think they're probably not quite sure how true the surface is. So I guess we just hopefully know what we're chasing, obviously batting second, and that way we can get the tempo of the game. So hopefully Zay can start really well here. Sure, he's obviously a dangerous player, so a wicket early would be very handy.
Look forward to chatting to you throughout the night.
Thank you, guys.
What a ripper he is. So it's personal disappointment, it says. Stufford at the airport, chats to all of the media, takes it on the chin, says, yeah, I'm happy to be mic'd up in the Big Bash, bring it on.
Says a lot about his character, and obviously he's got leadership potential. And what I saw of him in the BBL final last year was very impressive in terms of summing up the situation and the conditions at the SCG and then getting a score that was good enough for the Heat to win.
Yeah, he's a massive in. Xavier Bartlett's been in really good form. Here we go. Two slips shows the aggression already from the skipper.
Yeah, I like that. And obviously Xavier Bartlett has been in roaring form over the last 18 months. He's taken wickets wherever he's gone. So captain backing in his frontline bowler early. It is a young attack, as you mentioned before, Cato. But this man has made early inroads, which gives any attack a chance. So looking forward to seeing him up here. And in swinging conditions, the Gabba normally in the evening.
It's great to see him getting more than the one over that he used to do.
Yeah.
As that impact player a few years ago.
Summed up.
Getting short-changed, the youngster. It's better than that.
Yeah, we had a great season last season, didn't he? Strays leg side, tucked away for a single. I did reference right at the start that we're in for a run feast from a couple of the absolute greats. So in the 3,000 club, 3,000 runs in Big Bash cricket, there's Chris Lynn, there's Aaron Finch, and there's Darcy Short. The two of them are in action tonight. Moses Enriquez is not too far away from joining that elusive club into the future. And Chris Lynn, could he put on a clinic in front of his old home crowd just to annoy him?
Saw him out there before the toss, and he looked like he was eager to go. He's keen to play in front of the old home crowd.
Here's Darcy Short back in some touch in the last game.
Yeah, he batted beautifully, and he came in last minute with Chris Lynn having that niggle. But you're right, Kat, I saw him just lurking around Matt Short just before they went out to bat, and it looked like he wanted to get out there straight off the top. But he had a lot of success doing exactly that here at the Heat. As part of the Bash Brothers, Brendan McCullum. They put on a show for a number of years up here, now wearing the blue of the Strikers. He's played some really nice cricket in some varying roles, actually, in and amongst a very strong top order for the Strikers.
And 3,005 runs out of his 3,700 odd right here at the Heat. So he's to come. And we've seen in recent years, haven't we, the Big Bash. We've seen the emergence of Xavier Bartlett. We've interviewed Spencer Johnson. And the other big emergence was Matt Short in recent years too. Now we're going to be wearing the green and gold.
Yeah, he's certainly come on in leaps and bounds, and not just with the bat. Obviously, he's dynamic at the top of the order, loves batting at Adelaide Oval, but also handy with the ball, gets some key wickets at times, and bowling tough overs at times too as skipper. And that's the other part of it. He's getting that leadership experience at BBL level.
Follow that up too. Having Tim Payne in the dressing room now as well. Tim's always been noted as a very fine tactician, so that'll no doubt help him with his the tactical side of his game when he's in the field, managing bowlers through some difficult circumstances, picking and choosing when to bowl what. It's going to be a really important growth period for him because he is still a young captain.
ball of the over. Oh, it's a little edge. Bartman struck again. Darcy Short walks off. He is a wicket-taking machine, is X. Well, he can bank on something in the first over from Xavier Bartlett. That's a big wicket. Darcy Short, just a little feather. Straight through to Jimmy Pearson. And Darcy Short just walks off. Didn't even wait for the umpire's decision. He knew he'd hit it. And the Heat get off to a flying start. Adelaide Strikers, 1 for 3. Chris Lynn, who made the Gabba his own over a decade of brilliance here in the Big Bash, and introduced to the crowd with the MC of the crowd saying, "Give him a cheer," and 25,000 of the Gabba said, "Boo."
Well, they didn't like him. They've changed, they've turned on him. But my goodness, wasn't he a great servant for the Brisbane Heat over a long period of time. But they'll know how important his wicket is out here. Do not doubt that for a second.
Now straight away, Matt Kuhneman comes into the attack, probably with an eye towards Chris Lynn. It's over to Matt Short.
Yeah, spot on, Richo, and on the back of that misfield there, he'll get a look at him. So Chris Lynn's faced Matt Kuhneman for 8 deliveries in the BBL, 11 runs, 2 dismissals. So that's exactly what this is. This is a key matchup for the Brisbane Heat, and they're going to try and get at Chris Lynn straight away.
It looks like they've identified this wicket looks quite wide. Just look like it's holding in the surface a little bit at the moment too. So the first ball just held to Matt Short, and looking to try and grip one and bring the stumps into play against Chris Lynn.
Yeah, I think you're right, Kat. Certainly just a little bit of hold in the surface, and I also caught a couple of deliveries from Xavier Bartlett in the first over actually held a touch.
It's a good start by Kuhneman. He looked in really good touch at the MCG with that surprise win over the Melbourne Stars. They were so depleted, yet somehow they were able to win there on the back of a great Jimmy Pearson innings, and also wonderful bowling from Xavier Bartlett, Kuhneman, Swepson. Their big three.
It was just a little change in the field then. He moved his square leg into mid-wicket so that Chris Lynn couldn't just bunt and get off strike. So clever from Kuhneman. Chris Lynn generally likes to go with a spin early on in the power play.
That's excellent stuff. I'll tell you what, going back to that game at the MCG, the Brisbane side or a Queensland side with Jimmy Pearson at the crease is always a chance. Yeah, he's a fantastic performer. And that was a total that was gettable if they batted really smart. And he is a very smart operator. So it was great to see that game and the way the Brisbane Heat went about it.
Great start from Matt Kuhneman. Concedes one to the roar of the crowd. 2 overs, 1 for 4. little shape against the feather edge.
That was beautifully bowled. Great length, as you can see there. Darcy Short trying to get forward, but it was just a really nice length that did him in. And you're right, Richard, just looked to shape in a touch and then held its line off the seam. So it's hard to deal with for any left-hander.
About Xavier Bartlett is prepared to keep hitting that length until the batsman wants to hit him off it, and particularly here after the early wicket. Now he's asking the question of Matt Short. Matt Short knows he's obviously an important player in this lineup, particularly in the power play, and wants to get them off to a flying start, but Xavier Bartlett's curtailing that at the moment.
22nd of December. It looks like a few in the crowd are pretty keen for the fat man to come down the chimney for like your kid's ass.
Oh, don't worry about that. They are chomping at the bit for the jolly fat man to come down. And as we said there, have a look at him, up and about.
I think part of that too is he knows that Ollie
round out the over. Kuhnemann only concedes 4. It's 2 for 33. Handled it well, had a victory, and then hands it over to Colin Munro and says, you take over.
Bowler in any format is always challenging your stumps. As we see straight away there, Richard.
Lynn looks like he's just a coiled spring waiting to explode, isn't he? He just looks like he's fighting with himself. Do I smash this out of the ground or do I just play it down the ground?
he generally likes to pay for his matchup.
Yeah.
And when he goes hard, he gets the pace normal. But just at the moment, it looks like he's sizing both these spinners up.
This is a typical Swepson
far is the variation in paces. Swepson's gone from 85 to start right up to 94 and just keeps alternating ball after ball.
Short there, and he sweeps around for
straight down the ground, another one at 94, 91, and I reckon he's probably hit a couple bigger over his career, but have a look at that. Absolutely magnificent striker of the cricket ball.
Did we get a measure of the six he hit tonight? I don't know if we did. I think it was the highest six he's ever hit. I don't know how long it actually went. There's the reverse.
Yeah, that's the one that Caddo's put us on high alert for.
When you've been playing it in Test match cricket, you're pretty much going to play it in T20 cricket. See that replay of Chris Lynn, that was massive off Xavier Bartlett.
What was your biggest third?
I think I went
Picking it off the stadium.
back to back over 100 at the SCG one night in the last over in the derby.
Really?
Well done.
Yeah. I was probably due to get Sean Abbott at some point. He'd had it over me, I reckon, for a long time, but had a decent night at the SCG one night. Yeah. When the first one comes out well,
Over 100.
the confidence goes through the roof.
The head with that small little
Decent
wobble.
head wobble. I reckon the gun might have been relatively favourable on the night.
Oh, there's the top edge. He might get away with it here. Lobs in front of Matt Renshaw.
Enough backspin on that one just to get out of the ring. Initially it looked like it was going straight down, deep long on stroke, but hit it that badly, just cleared the ring.
देखिए दोस्तों, ये ऑस्ट्रेलिया का बिग बैश लीग चल रहा है, लेकिन वहां पर भी आईपीएल का थीम जो मतलब सॉन्ग है वो चला रहा है ये लोग, मतलब आईपीएल का चलवा है।
No, I thought that the reader was wrong one night because I think I got one in Delhi in the Champions League. It was 99. I thought, yes, can't be right. Yes, a bottom-handed slog sleeve. But I think prior to that it was probably about 30 metres.
Just got it out the ring.
Yeah. Different game back in the day.
Oh, yeah. So we're in a bit of a holding pattern here. As you mentioned, Kat, I think Chris Lynn might be looking to wait for the pace on at the end of the 7 overs. 2 for 49.
Strikers 2 for 49. Partnership's 28 already.
Very good.
There's just enough happening here to keep Chris Lynn honest. That previous over, he got the 2 boundaries down a deep backward square, and they've changed the field. He's come a lot finer now.
Well done, mate.
think Mitch Swepson would have been disappointed with the first one because young Tom Whitney was half-hearted. He wasn't quite sure whether to go for the catch. To access that deep square leg boundary.
That's beautiful bowling, as you've talked about, Catch. Varying that pace make it really difficult for these two to line up their sweep shot. Ollie Pope, it's such a strength of his.
Frustration builds. That third ball, just 73 Ks, and that's the sort of thing that they would be talking about in the spinners meetings or the bowlers meetings, alternating the pace as we see the batting line up there. Ross in next, Jamie Overton at 6.
He'd be a decent player to have at the crease through this period, actually, Alex Ross, the sweepologist. But it's clear that these two spinners in the heat have come in with a plan for these sweepers. Guys that like to sweep, take the pace away from them and fire one in every now and then.
Leading edge, just survives. Tension is building. 2 runs off the over. Who will blink first? 2 for 51.
Down 2 for 51 is the score. Ollie Pope's 38, Brisbane is 23. Let's catch up with our Brisbane Heat Hype Crew.
Right there. Loves it.
Don't tell me, Richo.
Brisbane Heat, if you don't mind.
I think that's the real deal too, Richo.
He's got the tough stick out. That is, well, you can't be rubbing that in.
That's Brisbane Heat till I die right there. Goodness me.
So here's Will Prestwich.
Straight on the money there. Hit a bounce. Decent pace. Son of Scott, I believe.
Talk about great family names in cricket. You think of, you hear Prestwich, you just think straight away Queensland cricket.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 5 games last year, so he's had a good taste of it. 4 wickets in that time, an economy rate of 10.7. Best of 2 for 34, so he's had a good taste of it, a good opportunity here to stamp his authority on this lineup and hopefully hold his spot for the rest of the tournament.
Just a single. His sister's now playing in Melbourne, so that would hurt. Scotty too hotty, wouldn't it? Oh.
And he's been given a tough ask here too, bowling from the Vulture Street end, because both mid-off and mid-on are up. It's quite short and straight, and these two will be trying to look to take him straight back over his head. Put some pressure on him, but he's been up to the challenge the first 2 balls.
Surprising stat there. Strikers having the edge here at the Gabba.
Good bouncer, good height, right at the badge. That's where you need to be. You can't just be floating through around about chest height. That'll disappear here at the Gabba with good bounce and pace, but that's a good one. That's zipped off the wicket, Cato.
Very good bouncer. What was noticeable there with Ollie Pope, watch his footwork. He played off the front foot. Normally you're going back to that length here at the Gabba, but Ollie Pope just looking to press forward. Caught off guard.
Into the crowd. Beautiful shot. Over long on for 6.
First boundary after 15 balls, and it's a beauty. Ollie Pope on the charge, down the wicket, looking to turn one of these back of a length deliveries into a full ball, and he did it successfully there. Good balance. Didn't just swing wildly, he stayed on the shot, as we can see here on the replay. Look at that, head nice and still. Not easy when you're on the charge.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, it's a tough ask for the youngster, mid-off and mid-on up. The batsman knows he's not really going to pitch the ball up full. He's going to go into the surface, and as a result, Ollie Pope read the play, advanced into it, hit him off the length nicely.
It's also a big ask, Caddo, because you've got someone like Chris Lynn, who's now faced 20 balls, is on 24, and he's faced a whole heap of spin recently, and he's generally, as you mentioned earlier, quite rightly, waiting for the pace on Chris Lynn. So he's always going to be under a bit of pressure coming into this over, let alone once Ollie Pope makes the decision that he's going to take the charge on too. So how does he respond, the young man?
Big last delivery this. 9 off the over. Straight down the ground goes Chris Lynn, but he hasn't hit it well enough. And a wonderful catch. Xavier Bartlett's a good athlete. You cannot get him out of this game.
The composure there by Xavier Bartlett was absolutely superb. One, to track the ball to where it was going to drop, but two, to also make sure he had the awareness of where his feet were positioned, because he was right near the boundary rope. Chris Lynn doesn't get all of it, and as a result, just dropped short. But some fancy footwork on the boundary line by Xavier Bartlett gets the job done. And the young man, Will Pressridge, gets a massive wicket at Chris Lynn. And the strikers now 3 for 60.
Brisbane Heat are up and about. Alex Ross, who had a wonderful career at the Sydney Thunder, is at the Adelaide Strikers. Of course, spent so much of his career in South Australia, but he will be a key player tonight. Nathan McSweeney's mic'd up for us. And Nathan, a really good start by your team. You'd be pleased with 3 for 60.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been a real strength of ours the last couple of years. We've been able to take wickets, and that's key in this format. I mean, every format obviously, but especially this one. So we've bowled well so far.
Huge wicket, that one, Nathan. Picking up Chris Lynn at that point in the game is huge. This is our man now.
Beautifully done.
Yeah, well, Liddy knows the Gavin probably better than anyone, especially in this format. So to see the back of him is always nice. He was playing quite well. So I think the wicket from all forward just seems a bit drier than normal. So maybe that's why it seems a little bit hard to time consistently. So yeah, interesting to see if it quickens up when the dew take comes in or as the night progresses.
Nathan, what about your mindset? How do you change the mindset from batting at test level to now changing to T20?
Yeah, it's something I haven't done before, obviously, but coming from Shield cricket to T20 cricket, often we don't get a big lead in. So for me, my game's just about the fundamentals and play good cricket shots for as long as I can, maybe with a few ramps here and there. So for me, it doesn't change overly a lot. But yeah, it's been nice speaking to Ross Taylor, who's our batting coach, about how he went about it. So definitely something I'm trying to get better at, but hopefully I can go all right tonight.
Nathan, have you enjoyed your time playing at the Gabba in the white ball format? Because it is a ground that has wide open expanses in the outfield and is a good place to bat for guys that have got good placement.
Yeah, I love playing up here in Brisbane for obviously the ground itself, and also family and friends are up here. So yeah, it's a great outfield. So if you play good cricket shots and you time the ball, often you get really good rewards. So and generally the wicket's got nice pace in it. So I love playing here, and yeah, hopefully I can hit a few out of the middle tonight. Would be nice, and hopefully we don't have to chase too many.
That's the plan at the moment from Tall Paul. It's good to have him back. He became a bit of a cult hero last season.
Yeah, he's excellent. He's a great guy around the group. He gives a lot out. He's played a lot of cricket, especially in T20 format. So, we have quite a young bowling attack, and he's been awesome with just sharing knowledge, and obviously his performances last year just stood up in moments, and he won us a couple of games with bat and ball. Catch it.
I think 17 wickets to that 17 aeroplane celebration.
Yeah, he's a big unit. I almost ran into him at Cross Harbour, and
I know.
so he said to me yesterday that hopefully we don't get that close again. Well, I certainly hope so, because I'm unsure who would come off. Well, I am positive that I'd come off second best.
I think Ferg, you and I were together there. It was. I think I said, "Watch out!"
Yeah,
Concerned.
We thought you were going to die. Anyway, good on you, Nate. Chat soon.
yeah. Thanks, guys.
They were running towards each other. I thought it was going to end in tears. Just missed. End of the over. Drinks will be taken. Only 3 off the over. Peter on top. They've got the strikers 3 for 63.
10 overs down, 3 for 63 is the score. 363. Shortly, so everyone is seeing QR code on the big screen. You'll let the choose some challenge.com/lottery. And starts right after the next over. One game's up. It's done. It's live. We are playing. Let's have a look at one of the questions. What's the favourite dessert of the year? Fans, they're going to do one with the queue. This is just a little bit of what would you like to have on a with a queue? So let's try to grab it. It's tiramisu rolls on that one. Keep on those are we will go to the big screen crowd with the queue trivia. We will Jason Band is leading the limit. If you want to play, you've got to be quick, get your answers in fast and be accurate. If you want to win tonight's weather, pay the queue. Now it's on the last couple of seconds around the end of the evening.
Drinks break. The strike is 3 for 63 at the moment, and it's quite warm up here in Brisbane, so those drinks would be welcome relief for everyone out there on the field. It has been great to meet Felix Cameron, and some of you might know this young man at home as being the star of Boy Swallows Universe. It was a smash hit last year. 15 years old from Melbourne, but you're a Brisbane Heat fan. Talk to me about that to begin with.
Yeah, well, I was up in Brisbane filming Boy Swallows Universe, so I guess that kind of brought me closer to the Brisbane Heat, and the Brisbane Heat reached out to me, considering that the show was filmed in Brisbane, and I got to meet everyone, and it's been lovely.
You met some of the big stars tonight, but you also got to bowl the first ball, the celebrity ball of the evening. I hear you're quite a handy leg spinner. How did it go?
It went alright, pitched the outside the off stump and it turned away. Hopefully the batsman would have sneaked off, but hopefully they wouldn't have driven me through the covers. But yeah, I was happy with the ball. I was just glad that I didn't bowl a full toss because my hands were that sweaty.
Yeah, it is warm up here tonight. Tell us about meeting some of the boys from the Heat. Were they happy with your efforts? Did they see them?
I'm not sure if they saw them, but they were the ones who encouraged me to bowl the leggy, and I'm very happy that I did. I got to meet Mitch Swepson, Matty Renshaw, and Spencer Johnson. They all said to me, just bowl the leg break, mate, doesn't matter what happens. And yeah, so that was good, getting to meet all the boys.
Hey, good on you, Felix. Well done for everything you've achieved, and good luck for year 10 next year.
Thank you.
There you go, Richo. Felix Cameron, and we would remember the night that we were at the Logies. This young man won 2 of them.
And did you say good luck in year 10?
In year 10. He's going into year 10 next year down in Melbourne, playing cricket, balancing acting and balancing schoolwork. Is that right?
Yep, that is exactly right.
Busy young man, but one with a big, big future ahead of him.
Yeah, super talented young man. Please say hello to him. For all of us, we're massive fans. Where's the beautiful curly hair gone?
Yeah, how good was his speech?
Oh, brilliant.
very good.
So, good on you. Jack has decided to hit the power surge button. So,
Being activated.
that looked like, I was going to say, I heard Jack in my ear. That looked a lot like Felix. He's just flipped over and gone, AM, I'm going to go and hit this button. Wow.
This is an early one.
This is a big call, isn't it? That's a call. So, Alex Ross has faced 3 deliveries.
It's a positive call. I don't mind it. 2 experienced players at the crease. Ollie Pope set.
Big dive. Thought the first delivery was going to bring up a wicket, which seems to be the norm at the moment in the power surge, but it runs away for 4. So for those new to Big Bash and not aware of the power surge, so 2 overs at the batting team's discretion after 10 overs, where only 2 fielders can be outside the inner circle. Yeah, the back of the hand slot ball there nearly got the rewards for Xavier Bartlett. Just wide at backward point.
Nice Yorker. First one, just a touch too much width from Xavier Bartlett. That was the only thing.
Action builds. We're in a power surge. Our Queensland audience joins us at 3 for 68. Brisbane Heat on top at the moment, but a power surge brought in by the Adelaide Strikers. And Ollie Pope's the man of the moment, 28 not out.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they talked about in that time out, because given that Ollie Pope's been out there now for 23 balls, potentially he felt comfortable taking it. He's set and he's going to be the one to be the aggressor.
Well starts. Skipper had a bit of heat on that.
Wow, he can't hit that any better, I don't think. Ollie Pope has absolutely flushed it. It was a nice piece of work from the skipper. That extra cover there. Having to go sideways, fingers up, never easy. Clean as a whistle, setting a standard.
And another pace-off delivery there. First ball was back of the hand, and that one as well, 104. Mindset.
Kat, you're our mindset coach. What are the mindset of these power surges? You think in the Big Bash, we're only early, we're a couple of seasons into it, do you think they overthink it, the batting team in particular?
Oh, look, it depends which team you're talking about, because a couple of teams have played it very, very well. The Scorchers, for instance, have been very successful, and certain players know when to take it, guys like Ashton Turner and
brilliant.
Josh Inglis and these guys. So it really comes down to the players being comfortable taking it at a time in the innings when it's going to suit them, and then they have the best success. The end of the 11th over, 3 for 73.
Tall Paul was trying to direct that delivery. Used it to his advantage. That's wonderful batting.
Yeah, very clever batting. Offside field was all up, so he knew the ball was probably going to be pitching outside leg stump, and he just used the crease beautifully to access wider mid-off. So gets single to deep point. Yeah, just wouldn't surprise me if the strikers talked about using Bartlett a little bit earlier so he doesn't have 2 overs towards the back end of the innings, given that they do have a young pace attack in this game tonight with Nisha and Spencer Johnson being out in. It's not conventional food, but it counts.
No, it's not, but Alex Ross seems to have a really good gauge on what the Tall Paul's trying to do here. So, again, reading the play, expecting short into the wicket. So he's trying to get offside of the ball so that he can access over the keeper and either side of short, fine leg there. So, very clever batting and not easy to do when you just walk to the wicket and you walk straight into a power surge.
To edge, over, and flies away for 4.
Got lucky there. Bit of bounce there from Tall Paul. Caught the leading edge, just gripped a bit on him. And just flew over 45 fielder in the ring. But what I've loved about those 2 boundaries, Ferg, he's been unpredictable. The first ball of the over, backed away, access through mid-off. And then that second one, that he ramped over the keeper, got inside the line, so making it hard for the bowler to get a read on what he's going to do next. Got away with that one there, but fortune favours the brave in this format.
See what that speaks to your talk about the dryness of the wicket, though. That ball really did lift quite sharply and held in the wicket and caught the shoulder of the bat.
Into the over. 14 runs off 24 without loss in the power surge. It's 3 for 87.
12 runs down, 3 for 87, surge done. 24 runs coming from the power surge, black and white. 10 runs from the first over, seconds.
The score 24 from the power surge, setting the strikers back into this.
So it's been a wonderful performance since that power surge was taken from these 2 strikers players. Enormously experienced, as we talked about pre-game, this middle order, setting up for a big launch at the back end. Desperately needed breakthrough here for the Brisbane Heat.
Yeah, they're certainly on track for 170 plus here, particularly if one of these 2 still in at the 16 over mark. It looks like Pope really wants to be an aggressor. And Alex Ross, we know he's probably waiting for the spinners to come on as well. He's got a little jump start out of this surge, 15 off 9. Looks like the Heat are just holding the spinners back while he's in the crease.
Jamie over to 6 too. That's going to be the big factor, needing over 10 and over.
piece of fielding from Mitch Swepson. Probably saved 2 there, I reckon. That would have stuck past for 3 at least. It's a wonderful piece of fielding there, but I think it's the right call. Alex Ross, if anything, has had a chink in his armour to good pace bowling early in his innings. But once he's set, he actually hits it a long, long way. So we really need to try and get him as quickly as possible, because once he's set, he really does start to ramp his innings strike rate wise.
Top edge. And take it. Oh, that went a long, long way in there. Nathan McSweeney stuck underneath it for an eternity.
And he knows the Prestwich gets another one. That's a big wicket of Pope. Well set. He's gone for 34. And just got a big 2 under the bounce of the ball there. Didn't quite get it out of the middle. More of a top edge. That was well taken by Nathan McSweeney out at deep square leg. It's a huge strike for the Heat. The striker's now 4 for 89.
Overton makes his way out to the middle with a big, big role to play with Alex Ross after Ollie Pope, 34 off 29. And Prestwich gets his second wicket, and it was courtesy of a Nathan McSweeney catch. Nathan, that went a million miles in the air. What was it like underneath that?
I was very nervous. I had a lot of time to think about it. I'm glad it went in.
There's some chasing to do. He's timed that well enough. Placed it beautifully for 4.
He's a big unit, Jamie Overton, powerful man, and he's dug that Yorker out quite remarkably. That's a hell of an effort. Millichamp and Hallback, you don't see them too often these days, but they were always good. I remember in my youth, they were magnificent bats, and that has rocketed across this outfield. Great value for your shots here at the Gabba, as Nathan McSweeney talked about earlier on. Nathan, that one really looked like a race eyes gone, so yeah, that has raced across this outfield just as he predicted earlier.
So Overton, of course, hasn't been dismissed so far in a couple of knocks, but the 45 in particular was impressive.
He recently made his white ball debut for England's recent series in the West Indies. Took him earlier today, and he's been picked. I think he's been picked. He said he'd been picked.
I'm backing up the truck here.
To India.
Hopefully. Glad you announced that to everyone, Kat. Into the over, 7 off, 4 for 94.
Jamie Overton. He's got the old school Millichamp and Hallback. You can see there, those stickers are from the early 90s. That's how far back those go. Absolutely beautiful bats they are. They were handmade by Julian Millichamp. He used to make them in Perth. I think he's relocated to Somerset now.
Swept that fine enough.
trying to at least get two. Yeah, I remember having one in my youth, Cat, but it was the Puma variety, so it was further down the track, but they were magnificent bats, they really were. They just had that nice two-tone about them and always had good size about the meat of the bat.
What did you give them up for? Commerciality. Suddenly, big boys said, listen, we need the Ferg to be using our sticks. Is that what
I
happened?
think they might have given me the,
Or the Tijuana?
yeah, the old creaming soda. Sarsaparilla. Yeah, I reckon I got shown the door from the Millenchand match, but I paid for mine, so I was in my youth and I was just jumping from whatever looked the best. Yeah, next season, what looked the best.
I tell you what, you've slipped, because normally anytime I give you any sort of opening like that, you drop the bat sponsor willy-nilly.
Who's that, Gray Nichols? She just opened the door up beautifully.
And you normally text him straight away. Would they possibly get three? No, happy with two.
Really pleased I played it that way, Rich, because you just let me open the door to the next bat I bought, which was a magnificent Gray Nichols Bowles. Oh, absolutely beautiful, that thing. Actually used it in my last shield season and Big Bash year. Power spot, beautiful Gray Nichols Bowles.
Somebody getting too much class, just not saying a word. It's him straight down the ground, but over! When he hits it, he certainly stays hit. Jamie Overton, a big six to finish the over. 10 off the over, and the 100 comes up. 4 for 104.
এদিকে তাকিয়েছিস কেন? তুই এইগুলো খাসনি কেন? এগুলো খাচ্ছিস না কেন?
Boxing Day, sit on the couch or download 7 Plus and take the sport with you. Australia, India at the G.
এই ওরে খেতে দে না, আমি এখন আর হাত দেবো না, আমি আর হাত দেবো না বাবা। এখন আমি ঘুমাবো, ওইসব দিয়ে গেলে আবার খাবার দিয়ে হাত দেবো, খাবার সময় তুই ওই একবারে আগে মেখে দিবি।
maybe over up, try and take his hands out of the equation, give him too much width to work with and fetch the ball from outside off stump. And rolling his fingers on it on the replay there, taking the pace away and right on the point of the elbow. That's his bowling arm there, right arm.
না ধুবি না, এখন দুধ হবে না, যখন শীত চলে যাবে তখন।
And it's been a clear game plan from the Heat all night. They've used their change-ups well, and as you say, Ferg, cross-seam delivery on this drier surface has certainly posed some problems for the batsmen getting used to the timing of the ball, because in a way it's looked a little bit too paced, but that's particularly been because fourth and final over. Kuhnemann still with one to come. Whitney with a couple. Bartlett with one. A few options. Prestwich and Tory Paul with a two. So last over for Mitch Swepson. And the Heat utilising Swepson against Alex Ross. Previous battles, he's got him out twice. He scored 9 runs off 12 balls, so critical time of the innings. He won another wicket here. It's an unusual one actually, because we've traditionally seen Alex Ross have a lot of success against spin. The Brisbane Heat spinners have been very, very good for a long period of time and caused everyone trouble really.
control and their ability to keep the stumps in play can be a bit of a challenge for guys that like to utilise the sweep shot like Alex Ross does. So it's a tricky one for Rossi, and Brisbane Heat maximising their matchups. They've done it quite nicely throughout the entire innings.
Evidence. Oh no, confusion. Big confusion. And gone. Overton committed. Ross looked at him. And they were stranded. Ross turns around and no hope.
We just see Jamie Overton at the other end just putting his hand up to apologise. We can hear the stump lights quite clearly that there was chat of a second, and like Overton just didn't say anything. He just had a look, and then as they were looking to go, he just stopped. So Alex Ross left halfway down the wicket. That's a horror show for the Strikers as they're building some nice momentum, and Alex Ross looked to be in good touch. 20 off 15. He's got to go 5 for 112, the Strikers.
James Baisley, who we've seen so effective with bat in hand. 408 runs. Traditionally come at a nice rate as that strike rate of 127. He doesn't always get an opportunity to face many deliveries. And we know he can hit a really big ball, and he knows his ground well. Just looking back at that run out, there was definitely two there. Jamie Overton looked like he would have got home comfortably if he just kept coming, but he calls Alex Ross through, then stops. Had he kept going, he would have got home comfortably. He put the hand up to say barbecue.
He did, he did. It's a coach and captain just nightmare really, because the Strikers were getting into a strong position. 2 experienced players at the crease with power and more to come. 514, they're a bit vulnerable now.
Jamie Overton, just so powerful, gets plenty of it for 6.
Beautiful strike, got deep into the crease, saw the ball back of a length, did not miss out. Beautiful strike of the ball. Then a 16, Strikers 5 for 120.
Four overs remain. When you get a baggy green, it's incumbent on you. You get to meet other people who have been talented enough to get a baggy green. You're part of a club, and Nathan McSweeney makes his way out tonight and just gets his ears boxed off by Cal Ferguson. Yep, that tells him all about what it's like to be in the baggy green club.
I'd shoot his ear off.
He's going, oh, that's what I heard once you joined this club, old former players doing absolute work more than me. Jamie Overton is going to be a big factor in this game, isn't he? James Paisley. Nathan, we just showed some vision of you having your ears chewed off by Cal Ferguson, you poor thing.
Ferg's a great man.
I know, we love him.
No, he's a beauty.
I reckon I've got him full already.
What do you think at the moment, mate? 4 overs remain.
Yeah, we've bowled well. We've been really good. There's obviously 2 big wickets here. I Overton's hitting the ball really well, and we saw Paisley do it the other night. So the thing about the strikers, they've got a really long batting order, so we're going to have to don't get too comfortable and execute really well to finish off a very good start. I feel like I'm in the game here.
Right, look for deep backward square here.
I tried to get to
I thought that was coming straight out to when he shaped up the bat.
That would have been classic.
That would have got played over and over again for the rest of the year. Hey, Nate, talk to us. What sort of advice have you been given from the selectors and the Australian setup since obviously being informed that you won't be in the Boxing Day Test setup?
They said to me that it's obviously been a difficult start, and Bumrah's, been a huge player in the series, so they just want to chuck someone else up there that might offer a point of difference. And Semi Consis is playing really well, so they just want to chuck another guy up there that might play a bit different style of game to what I do. They were very reassuring. They said that my game looks a good order, and no doubt hopefully one day I can be a permanent member in that test team. It's been awesome being a part of it the last couple of weeks. All the guys and support staff have made it feel very welcoming, and I guess it's a dream come true. I'll put my head down and work really hard in the nets, and hopefully if I get another opportunity I can play a bit better.
And Nathan, how did you feel being at the top of the order, given that you've generally batted at 3 or...
It's obviously slightly different. You walk out first, and you've got to be on when they're 9 down in the field. You get a 10-minute changeover, so there's different routines. Probably that's about the only thing. I think my game's very similar whether I open or bat 3.
Really not far away from Nathan.
So I was, not that I got the runs I would like, but I felt like my game was in a decent spot. And sorry, Cooney's asking me how to bowl left arm office, which I'm not sure I can help him. What are you saying? I'm going to bowl. I'm absolutely not.
Well, I think Dude's very good at just about every sport, I reckon. It's about 3, so he'd make it work.
Hey, 10 off the over, 5 for 130, 17 overs complete. Nathan, just on that, so when you go back to Shield level, would you put your hand up and say that you'd like to open the batting now as a result, just because you're aware that obviously one of our great players is coming towards the end of his career in Usman Khawaja?
I don't think so. South Australia been pretty comfortable batting 3 this year and the end of last year, and I've been able to do a really good job. So I think for South Australia I'll continue to bat 3, and as I said, I don't think I haven't got the scores opening the batting, but I don't think it's too dissimilar in terms of how I go about playing the game.
Kuhnemann on his 4th and final over. Nathan McSweeney mic'd up for us. And Nathan, you did a wonderful job skippering the heat for their second BBL title last year at the SCG. Is there any chat around you taking the reins back now that you're back?
Munro did a great job. Did a great job last year in the round game, so while Munners is here, I'm happy to take a back seat, and I've got plenty to learn, and he's, like all our overseas over the last couple of years, he's really open and happy to talk about the game and his experiences, so I'll learn as much as I can off him, and obviously something I love doing, and if the opportunity comes, I'll absolutely love to do it.
Doing a great job in that outfield.
It's become our man.
It's just come straight to us. Absolutely, he's out there. He's with us all the way through the fielding innings. Nate, talk to us about how you've enjoyed the move across. We talked a little bit with you last year, but now you are really settled in South Australia, and Colin Munro spent some time in Adelaide as well.
Yeah.
Shared some stories, I'm sure.
Yeah, West Torrens. Nice strike, is it?
It's a bit upward.
It's beautiful. It's over for 6.
Great shot. They're big boys, these two, and they don't have to get all of it, and it seems to travel a lot further than the other. Especially the 90s minute.
You and me both.
Yeah. No, there's Spencer's around as well, and Daniel Drew's in the squad. So we've got a few guys from South Australia, and obviously the coach.
That's a big box. Beautiful strike there.
It's really starting to wind up in this partnership. Paisley clears the front leg out the way, getting down the wicket nicely, getting to it on the... Well, he got to the pitch of it in the end. Using those levers beautifully over wide long on.
I reckon he's towed that too, and still gone for 6. That's how strong these boys are.
Oh, get it, mate.
And Nate, how'd you break the news to your granddad who never misses a game?
Yeah, I passed it on to Dad, and Dad would have fed it down the chain. A little bit. It's not as easy telling them they got big versus not selected, that's for sure.
I can imagine, mate.
But it's part of the game, unfortunately. And all I can do now is head down, work really hard, learn from my experience, and hopefully one day they'll be more than ready for the next opportunity.
You're a ripper, mate. Thanks for being mic'd up. 19 off the over, 5 for 149. Partnership 37 off 14. This back end of the innings, once they took that surge, so the surge goes 10 and 14, 13th over they score 7, and then 10, 4, 12, 10 and 19. Yeah, that's amazing. Power of these two, 44 off the last 3 overs. 12 balls left, still on track to get to that 170 plus mark. Can change quickly. Tall Paul, the aeroplane's out as he knocks him over.
You gave him the nickname, Richo. You called that absolutely magnificently. That was perfectly placed right on the crease, crashing into the stumps. Paisley goes for 23 off 11, which has been really, really important. But again, it's Tall Paul coming into the attack from a great height, and that makes it really hard to judge those Yorkers as a batter, especially when you're looking to clear the picket. So he strikes again, your man Richo. Tall Paul into the game. The Strikers lose an important one. They fall to 6 for 149 with 11 deliveries left in the innings.
His way out to the middle to join Jamie Overton, who's 29 off 18. Tell us about Liam Scott and his
player for the future. There's no doubt about it. All-round prospect. It's a nice start back. Jumped all over that short ball and looks like just lost the handle on it, but he's managed to reel it in. Picks up 3. Plays really well off both feet, Liam Scott. Particular liking for taking down spin, just to use his feet down the wicket, bring the sweep shot out. But its ability to take the new ball in the red ball cricket for South Australia, move the ball off the straight, which has been a real asset this season in particular. He's getting bigger and stronger. And I really like him. He's got long levers. Nice technique too.
As he
impressive start because Paul Walter got the bouncer right on the money to him first ball, knowing that it was a big boundary out the leg side, but Scott on top of the bounce nicely, guided into the gap in between deep square and fine leg, and perfect result, getting 3, getting over and back on strike. We see a cameo from the youngster here. He's a big boy.
He's a big boy, yeah. He's really starting to fill out too.
There's a few out there at the moment. 3 involved in this art. It's keen on 2 and they'll do it easily. Jamie Open and have another little stumble, another think about it.
He didn't though this time. He followed through. And there was a lot more communication that time. Learned his lesson. But nice start there from Scott, working that one into the gap nicely, utilising the big pockets, which is so important here, Kat, when you're trying to put together a partnership.
Yeah, it's clever batting. He's just come to the crease, getting used to the pace and bounce, and doesn't have a lot of time to get in. So just getting into the gaps nicely.
Chance of 2 straight away, and they comfortably do it.
It's good batting again. Good athleticism too. Jamie Overton was in and out. He charged off in the first one, which is so important. You've got to get out of the blocks quickly with the first run, and made it back comfortably. So looking at the stats earlier, since BBL 11, teams batting first and posting more than 155 have won all 11 games. And we've gone past that mark in this over.
Into the over there. 9 runs off. 6 for 158. Sure, the X Factor will be bowling it for the Brisbane Heat. And Overton and Scott, little partnership 9 off 5 at the moment. It's a 158 gut field team. Enough?
I think they're on the way enough, yeah.
Particularly given that we've seen a little bit of hold in the track and some spin. We know that the strikers base their attack around the 2 spinners, and they both complement each other. Boyce slower through the air, we try and spin it. And Lloyd Pope's been taking the start spin a lot of bowls with his right hands in the last year or 2. Very good game the other night against the Stars. After a tough start against the Thunder, he was asked to do a big job there in the 19th against Daniel Sams.
Races away from the 4.
Yeah, great skill there from Jamie Overton. Full and wide pace on. He was able to open the bat face, as we'll see on the replay here. Kept the face open very deliberately. Just got enough height on it to evade the 2 men backward point and short third man. So great skill shown there. It's not just all blasted down the straight boundaries.
Straight, turns his back and says, how good is that? Brilliant strike.
This boy can play. Worked with him in England in the 100, and 2 years ago he got 80 off about 30 balls and he leads. He's got some serious power, and that's why England are picking him in white ball cricket at the moment. He can bowl 140 Ks and whack them like this at the back end of the innings. And that ball before for Stars the other night took him wide and tried to take it out of his hitting arc, and that's just a great example of being able to have the deft touch to beat the guy up.
What a night to wear your PJs. wear their jammies on a night, nearly take a catch. Get on national TV.
Right there, weren't they?
Yeah, the Chrissy jammies are looking a treat too. There they are.
Oh, magnificent.
magnificent. Check that out.
That's it. Nice cold one in hand. Responsibly, of course, no doubt. But just back to the cricket, that was a nice piece of running from Liam Scott. As soon as that ball was hit down towards long on, he was out of the blocks, touching in and going without even batting an eyelid, telling Jamie Overton that I'm coming back for two. You almost sacrifice yourself every time there, I reckon, Pat, just to make sure the set batter's on strike.
And it could be the difference between getting 171 or 180 here. Jamie Overton finds the fence twice.
Shouting two straight away, and they will do a good job to get there. And that allows, of course, Overton the last delivery, which is just so important. And consider this, halfway mark, they were 3 for 63. 110 runs later for 3 wickets. That is a huge back half.
And I'll tell you what, it really turned when they took the power surge after 10 overs. I thought it was a brave move at the time, and we talked about that. It was the positive option to take. And I'll tell you what, didn't they make it a winner? And that middle order, which has got all the experience in the world.
तो दोस्तों ये हो गया इनिंग्स ब्रेक। अभी पूरा डिटेल्स मैंने मैच का पूरा फुल स्क्रिप्ट था मैंने अपने टेलीग्राम चैनल पर दे चुका था। तो अगर आप लोग फॉलो कर रहे होते तो आप लोग थोड़ा बहुत तो कमा ही लेते। तो फिर से कह रहा हूँ, अगर किसी को कमाना है तो मेरे को मेरा जो टेलीग्राम चैनल है उस पर डीएम कीजिए, मुझे देख लीजिए। मेरे अबाउट सेक्शन में मेरा टेलीग्राम चैनल का लिंक दिया हुआ है और उधर काम भी देख लीजिएगा। धन्यवाद।
Great outback, or will the Aussies take home the gold?
Nice shot, very nice shot.
India Tour of Australia. Live on Astro Cricket.
The big day is finally here. Who will be crowned the champions of the DP World Asia Cup 2022? We are back in Dubai at the Ring of Fire for two teams that have hit their form at just the right time. It is Pakistan versus Sri Lanka. They met just 2 days ago with Sri Lanka gaining a much needed confidence boosting victory against Pakistan. And can they do it again? This is the side they've picked.
Yes, pretty much the same side that has been playing right through this tournament.
The man of the moment, Naseem Hasan Shah, is back in the playing 11 as well. So a strong bowling side.
And Naseem Shah back
Right, he's been brilliant. He had the sparklers coming out of the saxophone earlier on in the evening, but it has been fireworks from him. The fireworks are going nuts here at the moment at the game.
Nearly scared the pants off me before. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of the first innings. It was really about the middle order for the Strikers, wasn't it? They really banded together, some nice partnerships formed, and they put up a competitive total in the end.
Yeah, we talked them up in the pre-game, and they didn't let us down, albeit a couple of hiccups that they'd like back. The run out of Alex Ross was at a really pivotal time. It probably cost them another 10 runs potentially. However, what they did do is they set it up really nicely. They bat deep and they utilised all of their chips. Their best players spent all their time at the crease, as we see here towards the back end. We saw some big hits, and Ollie Pope got them rolling here.
We love these big sixes. The one from Chris Lynn earlier on, sad to see him go so early in the innings, but that really set the tone for the rest of this squad.
Yeah, it did, and they came out aggressive, which I liked, albeit they didn't get it right from ball one all the way through the power play. They had a couple of little hiccups, as I mentioned, but they got set at the crease. All of their batters through the innings got what I would say was a meaningful start. You would have liked to see someone get 70, but they didn't get that. They all contributed.
Yeah, they got going at about the fifth over. We're very much looking forward to what Thursday brings for us right here on 7, of course, Boxing Day, and a triple header, an absolute feast to sink your teeth into. Starting with the Boxing Day test, day 1, Australia taking on India at the MCG, and then 2 Big Bash matches to savour. The Sixers taking on the Stars, and then the Perth Scorchers hosting the Brisbane Heat.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. I can't wait. I'm calling the Perth Scorchers Brisbane Heat game. That'll be a ripper over there. Always a great service at Optus, but what a Boxing Day that is. An absolute feast for all cricket lovers.
Let's get into the Australian squad selected so far for the Boxing Day test. Obviously a bit of conjecture about the dropping, as you discussed in the first innings, of Nathan McSweeney. Sam Constas, the 19-year-old, comes into the side, and of course with a bit of damage to a couple of bowlers, Scott Boland back into the squad.
Yeah, absolutely, and he'll play. I'm certain of that. He'll come into that lineup. Boxing Day, he's got a great history there, had a lot of success in the Boxing Day test match, and Sam Constas, he'll come straight in and bat in Nathan McSweeney's position there. Always so exciting when you see a youngster get their first opportunity. I can't wait to see it, especially with a bit of momentum after his performance in that first game on debut for the Thunder.
Absolutely exciting stuff. You can watch it all here across the screens of 7. Coming up, Brisbane Heat on the hunt, chasing down 175 for victory. Jimmy Pearson, he was really good in the last game, making a score in the 70s. Can he contribute to his side's winning hopes here at the Gabba this evening? But before we go to the ad break, to get you right in the mood for the Boxing Day test, take a look at this.
So much anticipation leading into this marquee day on our sporting calendar. And he's taken it! Cummins makes the break. And in his 15th test, his first in Australia, Jaiswal reaches his 4th test century.
The Sydney Sixers with an excellent batting performance. Goodbye. That has hit the top of the Bill O'Reilly stand. What a hit! Mighty blow! Beautiful. That's going to go all the way. That is a cracking shot for 6. That is a shot and a half. The sound it makes off the middle of his bat. To the Gabba, wherever you're joining us around the globe. Big Bash clash between the defending champs, the Brisbane Heat, up against the Adelaide Strikers, who will be one of the key teams in the tournament. They've got a great list. And the Brisbane Heat require 175 for victory after the Adelaide Scorchers scored 6 for 174. Jamie Overton, the English international, 45, not out of 24. Support from Ollie Hope, another English international, 34 off 29. Chris Lynn, 24. Alex Ross, 20. And James Paisley, 23. Set for a beauty at the Gabba. The Gabba Busters are in town. The Brisbane Heat, in front of their home fans, require 175 for victory. They're up and about tonight. Christmas is in the air. Celebration with their trophy on display from last season. But Cal Ferguson and Simon Kadich, they've got themselves a serious task here, because 175 will take some chasing.
Yeah, it's a good total here, and history suggests that if you put 155 on the board or more since BBL 11, you win the game. Now, you know the champions are involved in this contest and they'll be chasing, so they'll be right in this game on the back of what's a strong crowd here, Cato.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I think the fact that they've got 4 spinners in their lineup. We saw Darcy Short warming up, as well as the 2 leggies, Pope and Boyce, and now the skipper, Matt Short. He likes the match-up here with Munro in the first over.
Darcy's warming up and he's mic'd up. He might be having a trundle tonight, Darcy.
No, I just always keep myself ready, because you never know when I get called on, so.
Enjoy it still, mate? Do you enjoy getting the ball in the hand?
Yeah, I still enjoy it. Don't like getting hit for 6, but I guess that's part of the game, isn't it? Sometimes you bowl a good ball and get hit for 6, but no, I still enjoy it.
Nice to get a bit of form the other night, mate. You missed out tonight, but the other night it was a good night.
Yeah, it was good. Found out on the way to the ground at about 5:15, so good prep to start with. But I guess it just shows that you do the work, you're ready to go anyway. So.
Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Lovely access we get to all of our key players throughout the Big Bash. So here we go, Matty Short. Start away for the Adelaide Strikers as they try to defend that one.
Yeah, this will be one match-up. Wanting to get at the left-hander, Colin Munro, the captain, early on in his innings.
Oh! Huge swing and a miss.
Yeah, he's dangling the carrot here, Matt Short. Mid-on is up in the ring. Munro wanted a piece of that. He knows it's short straight. Deep mid-off's back there, so he wants to take Matt Short straight back over his head here.
That's bounced a bit from Matt Short. He's a tall man, Matt Short, so just extracting that extra bounce. We saw the new ball holding the wicket in the first innings for Matt Kuhnemann with that new ball. I'm surprised here that Jimmy Pearson didn't choose to face the first ball when they saw the right arm offie come on.
And that's a great example. You can hear there, Ollie Pope, the bounce. That's what's going to be key ability out here. We saw it earlier. We saw Xavier Bartlett get a bit of hold with the new ball. We'll see him just gripping in the surface. It's quite dry.
Sees one that he likes and deposits right into the ground.
Yeah, good swing in the back. That nice clean swing from Colin Munro, the captain. That one not gripping enough for Matt Short. Threw it up above the eye line, just missed his length. Just a touch too full, 82 metres, a good hit.
Into the first over, 6 runs off in an over where Cal Ferguson said about the Adelaide skipper, he's a tall man, short. So now we get the 6. Attack Henry Thomas, Raphael James, York Thornton. What a name. Best figures of 5 for 3. And he started in style. Oh, well the other night.
He bowled very well. Attacked the stumps, got a few to keep a little bit low against the Stars. Bowled some good pace. Started the mid-130s here.
I remember thinking through a lot of last season that I was surprised he wasn't playing a little bit more. He was a well-renowned wicket taker in the competition the year before, so getting a good opportunity to have a crack at it early in this season. We'll see how these two attack it at the top of the order, whether they just assess the conditions a little bit in the first few overs and then maybe launch at the last over and a half of the power play. I have a feeling Colin Munro only knows one way, but Jimmy Pearson does tend to play it as he sees it.
Looks like so. Will be rewarded with a boundary there.
Just missing his line there, Henry Thornton. And Jimmy Pearson doesn't miss out on that. He's clipped it away nicely. Down the fine leg for 4. I also wonder too, given that Cotton Nice is out, he generally occupies that number 7 spot, whether the heat structure their batting, the tempo of their innings a little bit differently, because Xavier Bartlett now will be batting at 7 tonight, so it would have been a little bit lower previously.
Away for 4, diving effort in slim. It's a good area that Thorns are just leaving. Jimmy Pearson a tough.
It's a crease. You always feel like the heater in the game.
Did you get a chance to chat to Nisa, either of you, to find out when he's back and what the issue is?
Not yet. Not yet, and that's been disappointing timing for him really, because he would have been in and around the mark for a position in the Australian Test squad right now with the injury to Josh Hazlewood. Obviously Scott Boland's probably the first in line you'd suggest, and I certainly think so. Michael Nisa would have been next in line, no doubt. So disappointing timing for Slick Mick. He's a fantastic fella and a huge talent.
Gets the wicket. Pearson tries the ramp and gets nailed.
We spoke about him being a wicket taker, Ferg, and he delivered. That's a big hit on the Brisbane Heat. Jimmy Pearson tries to play the ramp shot and it cannons into off stump. The strikers get there first. The Heat now 1 for 14 after 2.
Brisbane,
Nathan McSweeney out of the Australian Test team, straight back into the Big Bash. We had him mic'd up, if you've just joined us, when the Brisbane Heat were fielding, and he was just magnificent to chat to. How he's put it all into context, putting it behind him and thoroughly enjoying the experience and ready to learn from it and find his way back into that Australian team. I thought he was magnificent. He certainly was. And highlighted the character of the young man. He's only 25 years of age, so he's got time on his side to fight his way back in. There's a lot of people around the country that thought he was probably hardly done by. You know, when you look at consistency, there's a number of players in this Test series batting in the top four that have struggled for runs. So he wasn't on his own, but he'll be back better for the experience.
And you're a perfect example. A player, doesn't, just play 50 plus tests in a row. There's ups and downs. Matt Hayden's another great example. What did Matty Hayden had? 6+ years out of the Test team.
Yeah, it was great to see how well he bounced back and turned into one of the Australian greats of all time, at the top of the Australian order. And I think we're all hoping that Nathan McSweeney can be one of those players, albeit he could probably see him batting anywhere in the top 5 really, but at this stage, he's a top order player.
Just felt that. I remember Matty Hayden, who I think had spoken to the great Wayne Bennett about that sort of situation, and he said, don't get fitter, get better. That's exactly the attitude that we heard from Nathan McSweeney before. There's no excuses or anything like that. He's copped it on the chin, and there'll be a lot of people that speak for him. It probably wasn't the most consistent decision, given that there's other players that haven't scored as many runs in this series either, but he's copped it and he'll get better for it.
It's a great saying, isn't it? It is.
Oh, here's a top edge. It's going to take some catching. It's a fly ball and dropped. Oh, it was a mile in the air.
Wowee. What sort of impact will that have on this contest? Leading edge from Colin Munro, straight up the chimney. And it took one of those balls that can quite often get up above the lights almost, and he settled under it. And he barely got a hand on it at the end. Henry Thornton. That is a tough pill to swallow for the Adelaide Strikers, no doubt, knowing just how big a wicket Colin Munro is in this situation.
You just see it right at the end. It just starts to lose his balance and go to ground, and the effect that has on the eyes moving as the ball's about to come in the hand. The youngster just couldn't quite keep his feet. So it went a long way in the air. They're never easy, but it should have been taken. And Jamie Overton probably could have called this himself. And he's got bucket-like hands.
Normally the fast bowlers normally get out of the way, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's right. I'll take control. Not on this occasion, unfortunately for the Strikers. That one hits the deck. Colin Munro lives to fight another day. But what we are seeing with the reaction of the batters when these balls are getting to them is a real hold in the wicket off the surface. So there's tennis bowling out there, which makes it tricky to play the horizontal bat shots like we saw with Colin Munro just a moment ago.
Running, comfortable too. Into the over, what could have been for the Adelaide Strikers. It's 1 for 19.
Look at these absolute legends on the big screen now. The signature squad is in the house.
the Gabba this evening. We know that everybody in Brisbane absolutely loves their sport, but particularly the Big Bash. If you're in the local area throughout the New Year's period, they've got 2 games coming up at home, taking on the Sixers on the 29th of December. And then on New Year's Day, we know this is a cracker each and every year. The Heat taking on the Melbourne Stars on the first day of 2025. I know we've spoken a lot tonight about Nathan McSweeney, but he is so popular down here with the crowd.
Thornton hits the stumps yet again, and Munro's got to go in. That's a big breakthrough.
Well, it's brilliant work by the skipper, Matt Short. You dropped him, you get him out. So it gives him another over, and that's a beauty from Thornton. Just shaped back nicely. Got a bit of shape in the first over that he bowled. And that one right on the top of off start. Good work, youngster. Gets rid of the dangerous Munro. He departs for 7. And the Heat now 2 for 19.
Which he says, you know what? I've just embraced it now. He leans into it now, doesn't he? Lean into it, I love it.
Exactly. Well, he's coming out under pressure. The Adelaide Strikers bowlers have come out and hit the nail on the head for the captain from ball 1. No more than Henry Thornton. 6 names. He's charging in and he's on fire. He's hit the stumps twice, putting all sorts of pressure on this top order.
Renshaw just walks at him, puts him leg side for a single.
We were just talking off air, Cato, about the fact that his 2 deliveries have actually beaten the batters with a touch of swing. That last one, Munro shaping back into the left-hander, and the one that knocked over Pearson trying to lap, just doing him a little bit with a touch of in-swing, beating the inside half of the bat. And you were talking about his action.
Yeah, it just looks like as a left-hander, he's going to probably run the ball across the left-hander, but he was able to just shape that one back nicely to Munro.
Takes some combating. When a bowler's bowling at 140 and moving the ball both ways in the air, that provides a real challenge for top order players.
It does, particularly when they're trying to hit the ball off the length early on, and it takes a little bit of movement to then temper the batsman with his bat swing. So far, we've seen him win the battle. Can't underestimate these strikes at the top of the order because it brings the leg spinners into the game through the middle, knowing that there's 2 new batsmen coming out of the power play. They can settle into their spells and they can be really aggressive in terms of how they go about their business, knowing that the Heat now can't afford to lose another wicket or 2 in the next 4 or 5 overs.
Colin Munro for 7 and Jimmy Pearson for 8. Munro just arriving in town, looked a little out of sorts. He'll get his game together. He's been so brilliant. He's actually not far away from 11,000 T20 runs, which is an unbelievable achievement. One to come in this over, 3 runs, only conceded and a wicket. So on top at the moment, the Adelaide Strikers. Thornton continuing his impressive form. 2 in the first game, 1 for 16 off his 4 in the second. And again now, in this game, 2 for 11. Nice ball of his second over.
Well played. Beautifully done from McSweeney. Setting commentary that play the same, play normal cricket shots, but maybe with the odd lap. That's a perfect example. End of the over, 7 off, 2 for 26.
second over. His first over, 5 dots and a 6. Which was the first over of the game, or of this innings, I should say.
Just going back to that comment about Hunters, he's coming as skipper for this game. We were surprised with what they did at the tops because the Heat have batted first in the last 9 matches at the Gabba. They've won 8 of those 9 matches, and it's their home ground. So I was really surprised, particularly given how dry this wicket was.
It was interesting, the reason given when I questioned him, because I was doing the bat flip, he said that they believe that there'll be a bit of dew around tonight, so it'll skid on a lot more tonight, which will be interesting to see. We'll have Emma Freedman monitoring that to see whether dew becomes a factor throughout the night.
Well, if it does, they'll need some wickets in hand to actually maximise that in the last 10 overs in particular. That's where you see it come in, generally in the second innings, but towards the back end, the second half. So we'll need to make sure they get a couple of decent partnerships until then.
These two have been busy, haven't they, right from the start?
That's a sticky shot.
Not happy with that? Commentary there.
Not happy with it? It's great access we get though, isn't it? We're talking to players out there and listening to what they're talking about.
Was that the Ashes rivalry already? Is that coming from Ollie Pope, the keeper? Throw didn't look that bad.
Yeah, straight over the bars.
Tough judge.
See at this stage of the innings, Cato.
The strikers are happy they were batting first tonight. I know we heard Matt Short say that they were going to bat first. They'd seen the data. It was heavily skewed towards the team batting first, so good signs here for the strikers. This man, Cameron Boyce, knows this wicket very well, having played here Queensland and the Heat.
And of course a milestone tonight for Cameron Boyce. I saw you when you went and congratulated him.
Great achievement games. Yeah, 100 games for 3 sides. Brisbane Heat, 4 is it? Brisbane Heat, Hurricanes, Renegades and the Strikers. So he's been a bit of a journeyman, but somewhat surprisingly left off the list at the Renegades. Strikers jumped all over him, and what a success it's been.
Uses his feet beautifully and heaves him straight for 6. It's clever batting from Matt Renshaw. He knows that Cameron Boyce will give it a look. Got a hand on it in the crowd.
It's been a fantastic career. Cameron Boyce. He actually hasn't played for the Brisbane Heat, but played for Queensland in the Sheffield Shield. But he's certainly played all around the country and been very successful. He's had a good run with the Strikers the last 2 years.
Beautifully played again. He means business tonight, Matty Renshaw.
That's a phenomenal shot. We got him straight earlier in the over, and then this time it was a controlled slot sweep. Didn't try to hit it too hard. The placement was perfect. Caught it out in front of himself and went all the way over deep mid wicket. Brilliant batting from Renshaw. He fancies him on 4 and 5 sixes against Boyce in Big Bash cricket. He's made his way out there, Matty Renshaw. He's just looked on tonight. We know that he can be a touch enigmatic. He's on tonight. He scored 17 off that over. 2 for 51. Forward to this tomorrow night at Marvel Stadium. The Melbourne Renegades and Perth Scorchers. Ashton Agar mic'd up for us. And the Rooster, Jake Fraser McGurk, will be mic'd up when he's fielding for the Melbourne Renegades, and more importantly, when he's batting, it is box office.
Oh, isn't he? Great to watch. Must view TV that. Wherever you are, find a screen when Jake Fraser McGurk makes his way to the crease. You see Lloyd Pope into the attack. Player of the match last time out. Tough start to the year. His 4th over. To be honest, he's bowled 7 really good overs in the tournament so far. Then man of the match in that last game. The Strikers got on the winning circle and looking to keep the momentum going now.
Yeah, look, it can happen in T20 cricket. The best of them have been hit for that many in and over, but it's a great learning for him. What will he do differently next time he's in that position? Will he have a different field? Will he take the batter wider rather than bowling at the stumps? And he was much better for the occasion when he got the opportunity at the Adelaide Oval the other night. Played a critical role in keeping the Stars at 0 from 3.
Tough start for the Stars.
Superb there. Runs away for 4. Renshaw continues to accelerate.
It's a really good piece of batting that he was looking to get down the wicket and try and knock Lloyd Pope off his leg. But as soon as he saw it go down into the wicket, pushed his body weight off that front foot onto the back foot with some really fast hands, whipped that one behind square on the offside. It's nice batting, good busy batting.
Got a top edge here though. It'll fall safely. Good effort from Matt Shaw. Just couldn't quite get the handle on it.
And that was clever from Pope. Have a look at the wrong in here. He slices it, just loses his shape a little bit, Renshaw. He's been really composed so far. Not quite where he wanted it to go, but clever from Pope.
Shot down the ground. Great fielding attempt. That was awesome. Brilliant cricket all around.
That is incredible work from Jamie Overton down on that boundary. He made extraordinary yards. I thought it was 4 for all money. Just that last second reach, the left duke out and parried it back in and stuck it too. Oh, that's extraordinary stuff. We see it all in the BBL.
Eventful over, 10 runs off, 2 for 61.
Single to finish the over, 7 overs down.
partnership, 42 of 23. Darcy Short mic'd up for us, and Darcy, quickly, this partnership looms large for you.
Yeah, wouldn't mind getting one of these two out in this over. It'd be nice.
How's Ollie Pope? Let's talk Popes. How's Ollie settled in firstly?
Yeah, Ollie's fitted in quite nicely. From the day he got here, he's such a nice guy, and yeah, he's got along with the group quite well.
And what about his brother Lloyd? How did he bounce back from that first game?
Yeah, look, Popey bowled well in the second game, didn't he? So yeah, look, it happens to everyone really. Sometimes you get taken down by a batter. But it's just the way you bounce back from it in the end, really.
And Darcy, what did you make of the wicket out there early on? It looked like it just held in the surface a little bit.
Yeah, well, I only faced 3 balls, but it felt like it was holding a little bit in the wicket early on. But the boys seemed to think it got a little bit easier as the ball got older. So, yeah, wouldn't mind a couple more wickets here to put a bit more pressure on them through the middle, I think.
So it's Liam Scott into the attack here. As the 6th bowler utilised.
Oh, wow. That is missed by Coda Varnish, I reckon. And that seemed back a long way. Was there much talk about how the wicket played in the second half of the innings, Darcy, out there, and what was going to be the key in the bowling innings?
Yeah, a little bit. We kind of saw the ball was always happening out there, and obviously hopefully the ball swung earlier, which I think it did for Thornton, and then through the middle it's just trying to use your cross seam and slow balls to try and muck them up a little bit and get a wicket. I don't know what's happening with the spinners, but it's obviously not holding as much as what it did for Brisbane Heat in the first innings.
Yeah, it just looks like Renshaw's come out with the intent to put them under pressure, and this partnership. Now 43 off 25. Has got the momentum going their way, but I like this move from Matt Short, bringing Liam Scott on.
Just a single there. Darcy, have you faced Liam Scott a bit? What do you make of him? He looks to have some skills.
Faced him a little bit, yeah. Yeah, he's got good attributes to be a good bowler, I think. He's a nice addition to our team, just to give another team option, and as well as with the bat at the end. So, he's a good player all around. Ambitious.
That's a way to describe it.
I think so. You see a bit of this from Renners as well, don't you, Darcy? He starts to get inventive once he gets set at the crease.
Yeah, but I guess he practices, doesn't he? So if it comes off, we're also a good shot. So I don't mind it really, to be honest.
Just watching a Hawkeye with that delivery that nipped back through. Nathan McSweeney missed by 4 centimetres near thing there.
There's some work to be done. Oh, brilliant.
Oh, still got it, Dars.
Still got it.
Is it just me that when you're mic'd up, you just feel a little more intense out there?
Yeah, you get a little bit nervous. The ball seems to follow you a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, handle that.
You didn't snap your hamstring in half like I did on the mic at the MCG. I was a bit nervous for you, Dars.
I don't think I run fast enough to do that, to be honest.
Last ball of the over. 4 off. Good start from Scott. Hook shot. High and mighty into the crowd. To the roar of the crowd. Matty Renshaw moves to 43 with purpose. And it's 2 for 71.
Liam Scott. That brought the short boundary into play. If he was looking to bowl a short ball, it had to be outside his eye line and really high.
You can tell Matt Short needs a wicket here. He's gone back to his overseas pro in Jamie Overton, who had a good start. His first over should have had Munro caught him in wicket straight up the shoot, but he's brought him back here crucially because the Heat only need 103 off 71. They've got this chase down to a very manageable level here, and they need to break this partnership immediately.
Yep, and there go the gloves. Just about every time, I reckon, Cato, when you see someone go the full-length dive, they need to change their gloves because they've got those little sweat vents in them. Yeah, Richo, you end up with soil and grass and all sorts inside them. You have to just shake it up. Keep batting.
Correct, Richo. I don't reckon I've ever changed it once, mate. A bit of grass. I had inners underneath. Yeah, so I changed the inners. But yeah, if they've got a bit of grass in like the Velcro part that you strap up, just bat on.
Just bat on. He wouldn't have even known the grass was in there if he had the inners on.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they're different operators, the guys with inners in their gloves. Different cats. No pun intended. That was shocking, sorry.
What sort of gloves will you use, Cat? Some of those with green spikes? Yeah. Oh, Richo, now you've started.
Hang on. We're not age shaming, surely.
Yeah, jeez.
Sorry about that one, Cato. Sorry about my mate over.
Back in the 40s. I did have a set of those as a kid. Doc Bradford took me Essendon's once.
So good. So good. Straightening up a touch here. Matt Renshaw, I've absolutely loved his intent, as you were talking about before, Cato. He's just looked to play a shot every ball, not allow any bowlers to settle, and you always need an innings of that nature throughout a chase like this. Someone that gives you impetus at the crease, gives the partnership impetus. It's 100% what Renshaw's done here. 46 off 23, shooting at 200. He's really got this chase rolling.
Really well, wonderful way to bring up his fastest 50 in Big Bash cricket. 2 deliveries quicker than what he achieved in the past, and that was against the Strikers. He's got his eye in Matty Renshaw.
Yeah, it's a superb 50. It's completely changed the tempo of this Heat innings and the nature of this match on its head. He's come out with intent and he's done it in a composed fashion, just playing strong cricket shots to both sides of the ground, just by playing the ball. It's only really been the one false shot off Lloyd Pope that went up over cover. But other than that, he's hit everything perfectly and placed it beautifully.
Matty Renshaw at his brilliant best.
Class there, Richo. That's an absolute beauty. Just stand and deliver, but with great control of the back face. Another boundary. Peter rolling, 2 for 84 after 9. Has changed this game in Brisbane Heat's favour. He walked out, they were 2 for 34 after 5 overs. Remarkable. Yeah, they had a real wobble on, and Matt Renshaw paid it up with some smart batting and rotation from the other end with Nathan McSweeney, 15 off 13. This partnership has been absolutely magnificent. Really smart cricket, good game sense.
McSweeney's just been happy to play his role. Yeah, it's clever partnership batting. He knows that he just has to feed Renshaw the strike. He's on fire. Let him keep going and keep the partnership building. they've got ahead of the game here. Differential's only 26 between the runs to balls. And that in the modern game is very, very manageable. So the only thing they have to be mindful of now is not losing a couple of wickets here and then giving the momentum back to the strikers. That was ambitious.
It was. It's not a wide because Matt Renshaw went for the reverse sweep there. So
the irony is he could have just tapped that one with a little lap sweep because it was right on the line of it.
Oh, he's gone. What happened there? Pope gets the wicket and Renshaw's got to go.
Well, he's just bitten off one big shot too many here. Tried to get a little bit cute with the lap sweep. And Lloyd Pope dragged it well outside off stump and a little bit unlucky. Came off his body and ricocheted onto the stumps. And a wonderful knock. The 54 of just 27 deliveries by Matt Renshaw comes to an end. And the heat now, 3 for 85.
Matty Renshaw batted absolutely superbly. 4 fours, 3 sixes, immense strike rate, over 200. He was humming along. It changed the whole complexity of the game and towards the Brisbane Heat. But then Lloyd Pope was able to dismiss him. Emma Freedman, where are you?
Well, I found Tatman, as we've dubbed him tonight, Richard. This is actually Steve, but I'm calling him Tatman. We've got Saxman. We may as well have Tatman. Show us the tat again, Steve.
Yeah, this is it, just to celebrate the amazing season that we had last year. So good. Best way to top it off. I've never had my tattoo. It was the first one ever.
First tattoo, and you've decided to get the BBL champion 13 tat.
Yeah, season 13 was an amazing season. Nice way to bounce back from season 12 after we lost to the Scorchers. So great way to top it off and plenty of room if we decide to go back to back maybe.
Okay, I want to judge the kind of person you are as to how long after the win did you get this tattoo?
So it was probably a couple of months. I wanted it ready for the first game. So here we are. It's ready for the first match here at the Gabba and pumped.
You put in some hard thinking into this then. It wasn't a rash decision.
No, I wanted to match it. So it matches the shirt. So our new tops this year, we've got the logo as well. So I needed it to match that. So, yeah.
That's unreal stuff. I love the commitment. You'd be very happy with the efforts, particularly of Matty Renshaw just now.
Absolutely. Shame he just got out. But, yeah, we're looking all right. It was a bit shaky at the start. But I'm hoping the Heat got the goods to go to the end.
And just quickly before we go, if you go back to back, does the other arm receive a tattoo?
Well, hey, I might even be able to fill it up with the girls. The girls almost did it this season. So there's
plenty of room maybe for the girls on this side.
Kirby Short, I've seen her around. She'd be happy to get a couple of their previous wins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Ed, can you ask Tatman whether he's watched Reignite, the special of the Brisbane Heat?
Have you watched the special of the Brisbane Heat Reignite?
We missed out tickets. We tried to get tickets to go to the premiere and we missed out.
Mate, I've got good news for you. Just tune into 7 Plus. It's all right there for you for free.
I'm doing that as soon as I get home.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. He's set. Put Christmas Day back. Tatman. Set for a big time. Good on you, Ed. So 3 for 87. Drinks have been taken. McSweeney 17 and Boyce. Beautiful use of the feet there from McSweeney. Now he has to take the leadership role. Brilliant shot there from McSweeney. The invitation was on from Boyce. It's a shorter straight boundary in the Vulture Street end. Boyce had previously bowled it as the Stanley Street end. And just runs down the wicket. Clips it nicely over mid-on for 4.
Nice, Boise. Good, bud.
That was a touch of class from Nathan McSweeney. Great footwork, got to the pitch of it and placed it beautifully straight down the ground. It is a ground that will reward good cricket shots, so he's got himself going now, 22 off 19. Max Bryant coming off a well-compiled 36 off 22 against the Stars, so he's into the tournament as well. Really important partnership.
Just a little reminder there about Reignite. Check it all out on 7 Plus. Wonderful doco tracking the great success of the Brisbane Heat, who started their title defence, to be fair to them, with a really depleted team. So many, think about Neser and Johnson, who are superstars in their tournament, and they had no McSweeney in the first game. And straight away, they're building and going well, considering.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Slick Mick Neser right there, and what a player he's been.
Oh, that's a nice ball going through.
Just a change in the field. The mid-wickets come in now, allowing Boyce to roll straighter line and entice the reverse sweep. There's only one man behind backward point now.
Nice, boy.
Into the over. 7 runs off. 3 for 94. Compare the pair, the Brisbane Heat. Doesn't help when both teams have very similar colours. The teal's just ahead of the blue. The teal's the one on the top.
You wouldn't want to be colourblind. I'll tell you what, though, you can really see where they hit the accelerator there on the back of Matt Renshaw, the Heat. They really pushed the pedal to the metal and managed to get a bit of a lead on the strikers.
One there, Das. One there.
I tell you what, it has felt like Brisbane Heat have been well planned throughout this game so far. Talking a bit about their ability to use spin at different stages and try and target the strikers' batters. Again, here in this innings, they've targeted Cameron Boyce and the use of the feet down the wicket to him.
Yeah, and I think when you do the analysis before the game, batting meeting, have a chat about it in general, you know what their strengths are. Pope's attacking the stumps. He bowls a lot of wrong ones. Boyce slower through the air, normally in the 70k range, and they've used their feet beautifully, particularly straight.
A shout from Lloyd Pope, backed up by Ollie Pope. And Max Bryant says, I'm out of here. Off for a leg bye.
A little chat about whether to take the DRS.
Yes, they will.
Right, Lloyd Pope was really excited about this one, and there was a bit of a jumble of pads, gloves and bat. It's really interesting to see on the replay here.
Max Maxi Bryant looked in really good touch at the MCG.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review for LBW. Original decision is not out. It's a fair delivery. Can I start with front on, please? Thank you. All appears close to bat and glove there. That looks nice. To ultra edge, please.
Just straightened enough, didn't it?
Drift on that.
Yeah.
Seam position was magnificent. You're right, Kat. That really dipped in late.
Roll through. Clear gap there. Clear gap on the left-hand side. Keep rolling through. Yeah, thank you. There is a clear gap between bat and ball. I'm satisfied that there is no bat involved. Can we move to ball tracker, please?
Maxi Bryant's heart's in his mouth at the moment.
Thanks, Peter. Original decision is not out. Pitching is in line. Impact is in line. Wickets hitting.
What a review.
Steve, I'll get you to change your original decision of not out to out. Stand by. You are on screen. Signal now.
Well, there you have it. Lloyd Pope strikes again. Wow, hasn't he been on the march in the last two games? Tough game against the Thunder. Bounced back with a man of the match performance in the last game. And now 2 for 14. Max Bryant's got to go 3 off 5. And the Heat slumped to 4 for 95.
Tall Paul Walter makes his way out to the middle, batting at 6 and teaming up with Nathan McSweeney in a partnership that must continue the momentum for the Brisbane Heat. It's been Lloyd Pope who has been the man of the moment for 2 quick wickets.
Like you said before, Kat, targeting the stumps. That's the difference between him and Boyce.
3k per hour mark, so just fractionally quicker, and that dismissal, classic example of the work on the ball he got. That ball just drifted in beautifully, and that's what affects the batsman's view of it coming down.
There was always a bit of a knock that perhaps he didn't turn his leg spinner quite enough and that he was all wrong. And well, I tell you what, over the last 2 or 3 years, he's worked really hard on that leg break delivery. And as we see here on the ball tracking, a significant drift back into the right-hander and turning down the line of the stumps. That is a classic leg spinner's delivery, and it's borne fruit.
Another shout. He's happy to accept that decision. End of the over, wicket taking over, and only concedes 4. 4 for 98. Special days of sport around the world is Boxing Day at the MCG, and this year it's extra special because it is the heavyweight championship of the world. Australia versus India, series level 1-all. Let's get it on because we don't get along. It's going to be a beauty. There's been a lot of spite during the week, and there's anger, just adding a little spice to it.
Yeah, Matt Short's brought himself back on here with the left-hander being out there, Paul Walter. He's only faced the 2 balls. He knows there's some turn and bounce. He's going to ask the question of Walter, does he want to take him on at this stage of the innings? The Heat can't afford to lose another wicket now. They had all the momentum, and now the strikers are gaining it back with those 2 quick wickets.
It's also asking the question of Nathan McSweeney, are you willing to take the match-up on? Because you would say traditionally this is the match-up that a right-hander is going to look to go downtown. So let's have a look.
I don't think Matt Short's going to give him any line to work with to be able to get the ball straight back over his head or over long on, which is a short boundary. It looks like he's going to feed the ball in towards the pads and down leg, so McSweeney has to go square over mid-wicket and square leg. Can't get a free strike at it.
It's amazing what a couple of wickets do. They're just slowing everything down. At one stage, Brisbane Heat compared to the strikers at the same time were at least 20 in front, and now the differential is about 8.
Yeah, it highlights how hard it is for the batsman that's going like Renshaw, because his juices are going, he wants to keep going hard.
Reverse runs away for 4. Well played, McSweeney.
That's clever batting. Beautiful batting. Using the angle, the extra pace on the ball with Short trying to jam him up a little bit, lifting it beautifully. So that's a nice shot. Charles, another question of Matt Short. Just look at that replay. Short will be a bit disappointed with the width that he offered.
Looking to take the power surge. There's little poised hands over those buttons at the moment, but you were talking about the possibility of Dew eventuating after the 10th over in the second innings, Kat, and just rubbed the old mitt over the grass just now, and it has dewed up a little bit in the last couple of overs.
Okay, we'll keep monitoring that, M. Harvey and Jack pushing the button, and then suddenly the interlopers getting involved, stealing their moment. But it's power surge time for the Brisbane Heat. Okay, now we've been corrected. False power surge. So, I've never seen that. It's the first in Big Bash history. We've never pushed the button when it was inappropriate to push. So it's not a power surge.
No, and I'm not sure how that's missed the stumps either.
Well, it's an interesting choice, isn't it, Ferg? Because fine leg's back. I reckon he thought there was a gap there between himself and off stump and the keeper. That was Mark Warlight.
Brave batting, yeah, just try and beat the gap.
Something Mark Wall would try and do.
That's right. That guy 3/4 to the boundary, I'm just going to get it over his head. It's a beautiful gap back with a point. Just getting it square enough to beat What's a fine backward point and beating deep sweeper out on the point boundary. So that's a lovely piece of touch work from Nathan McSweeney, using the pace outside the off stump with some fast hands, creating a bit of a curl away from the deep sweeper, and that's a nice piece of batting. Striking the ball out there to deep mid-wicket.
Tell you what, hope he didn't, while he was hot, on another over bowling now. I'm surprised they're holding him back.
The only thing is that they know that Xavier Bartlett's next, and they might want to have hope to try and knock him up, because he's a dangerous striker of the ball. But 7's probably a higher spot than he's used to, so that short might be just leaving him for that. If they get one more wicket, there's still 6 after this. It's always nice to have an attacking leg spinner to bowl around the 16, 17 over mark. Maybe not the 19 over mark, like at Canberra.
Call back an over or two. Nice piece of bowling from Liam Scott again. His ability to move the ball off the straight is noted for, as we see here on the replay screen. He's gone the wobble seam, which we see in vogue around world cricket these days. That's a good example of it, nipping away from tall Paul Walter. That's exactly what you want to see as a fast bowler at this stage of the innings too.
Well run. All his skills, isn't he, Scott? He's displayed them tonight. He gave him a big pump up before the game, and he's delivered for you.
He's been good, and he is a young man that is keen to learn and get better, and I do think he's a talent. He's a guy that will be on the scene for a long time, so good to see him getting some opportunities in all 3 formats.
Or has he played grade cricket? Because traditionally that you only talk about your club.
Glenelg.
Oh, hang on, interference. Liam Scott got in the way of tall Paul, which is not a good idea.
2 big units.
Luckily they missed, so we didn't have a discussion. 8 runs off the over, 4 for 114. Yet to be called officially. Unofficially it has been. And this young man says, yeah, okay, let's do it this time. And show us, well, dance moves were limited. The cameraman was very quick to get up on power surge activated. Now I think officially this time. We're on, baby. Here we go.
Giddy up, Jamie Overton straight into the attack. That short not hesitating to bring his trump card back in. Experienced campaigner in the bowling attack.
Yeah, given the field that he's bowling to here, he's got deep mid on out and deep point. So trying to keep it away from Paul Walter's hitting zone, taking him wide either full like that or potentially pace off. Walter will want to try and whack him over mid-wicket. See if he can take a wicket here with 1 straight. Up.
Oh, swing and a miss. Built up the
Bowling short to him. There's no fine leg or square leg. There's three up in the ring on the leg side, only the deep mid on back, but Oberton just needs to get out of the set now.
Tall call. He had other ideas. Strikes him down the down straight, a boundary only. 6 off that over, the first of the power surge overs. 5 remain, it's 4 for 120. In front of the Brisbane Heat, and one of those overs will be a power surge over, so only 2 fielders permitted outside the inner circle. Darcy Short mic'd up for a start. Great fight back by your bowling unit, led by Lloyd Pope.
Yeah, it was a nice couple of overs there for us to get a couple of wickets. And good first surge over for us, so hopefully we can keep the boundaries to the minimum in this one and be on top, hopefully.
Any duel around Das at the moment? Is it starting to come in?
Yeah, there's a bit of it around, yeah. It's probably been around the whole time we've been fielding, actually, to be honest. Can't really see it on the ground, but it's been there since we started fielding, basically.
So that creates a bit of trickiness for the fielders out in the deep, doesn't it, Das? The ball skids off the surface. It can be tough fielding out there.
Yeah, definitely. Just I guess means you've got to be prepared to slide a bit longer than normal, to be honest. It's not shot, great shot.
Really got aggressive there, McSweeney. He moves to 40 now from 32. He's got to take that senior role. Well, this was just slightly overpitched by Henry Thornton, and a little bit too much width on offer. But it's tough for a bowler when you've only got 2 men out this stage of the innings. McSweeney's eyes lit up, powered that over mid off nicely before.
Nice, Lloyd.
Well fielded. Popey in action.
See what, I've been keeping an eye on Lloyd Pope in the field the last few games, and he's been clean as a whistle. So it's been really good to see, because it's obvious that he's been working on his fielding, but also a bit of confidence with his bowling probably coming out in the field too. So ball flies quickly here at the Gabba at that point region. So he'll have to be on his toes here, Cat.
Well, he knows he's in the hot spot because the 2 sweepers are either side of him.
Four more down the ground. This is a better over. They've 8 off the overs so far with a couple to come.
Yeah, shot of class again, standing nice and still at the crease and trying to hit the ball where it wants to be hit. And again, that said, hit me straight down the ground, just missing his length slightly there, Thornton. And the man of Nathan McSweeney's talent won't miss out there, so motoring along now to 44 off 34, and he's starting to get into his stride.
Doesn't this speak volumes of the character of Nathan McSweeney?
ball a half century. Don't get bitter, get better.
Well, he certainly is at the moment, but this is a tough ask for young Thornton. The field that he's bowling to has become very, very predictable here. McSweeney's just lined him up the whole set. He knows it's going to be wide with the way the two sweepers are out on the offside, and so he's just swinging through the line. Knows if he gets anything on it's flying down to third man or over backward point.
Beautifully played. Wonderful knock for a half century, and that's the way you answer a disappointment. Brilliantly played, Nathan McSweeney, and the Gabba love it.
He's come out focused on the job at hand, and that's to try and win the game for the team that he's playing for, and that's the Brisbane Heat. Coming off a big win in last year's championship and captaining the side, he's come out first time up and got the job done for his team. Into the 16th, 4 for 136, and they are motoring along now, the Brisbane Heat.
Yeah, 16 off that over, so 22 off the power surge. What a nice scene.
Brilliant to see. What a last over this was. As you mentioned, can become quite predictable if you've got the same field throughout the whole over into the one batter with no strike rotation. So Nathan McSweeney got his eye in early in the over and then effectively just hit the ball where he wanted to for the rest of the over with great control, real class, and he stepped up for his team.
That looked like it meant to be clear.
Yeah, I agree.
Super knock. Now can he go on with that?
Tall Paul, you're guilty! Monster blow! Well, the big man gets in on the act at the other end. He's not going to let Matt Short dictate terms. First ball 6, straight over deep mid-wicket. Like what he saw, just bottom-handed it. Predictably, Matt Short took him wider there, but Tall Paul's got the reach of a sick dog. And he was trying to launch that one over wide mid-on.
Some of the longest levers in the game, no doubt. I haven't heard that one, Kat, but I might reuse that one at some point. It'll get recycled. Don't worry about that. What a strike it was, though. It's a deep pocket out there. And it's towards mid-wicket. It's Nathan McSweeney got for Matt Short.
Now the question that I posed a couple of overs ago. So this is going to be the end of 17. Does Popey bowl the 18th? And then he starts to have nightmares of that 19th again.
Cracking blow! He's not Tall Paul. He's half the size, but he's hit a big ball.
He's given it the old heave-ho, hasn't he? Charged down the wicket. Did not hesitate to pull the trigger and hit it a long way back. It's a beautiful strike from Nathan McSweeney. And the Heat are rollicking along now. Quiet rate, under 8 and over from here. Well in hand this game for these two at the crease. 91 metres, that's a beauty.
Oh, shout! South Australian in the commentary box. Put the finger straight up.
Hand down. Might have heard a little tickle there. Yeah. Cato and I. So started to get the hand going. It's stifled a few.
13 off the over with 2 to come.
Oh, Tall Paul goes high again. Matty Short's going to get under it. It's a really high ball, and he takes it. He leads from the front, the skipper. Yeah, it's a disappointing dismissal for Paul Walder. He got back well on top of the run rate. It's 25 needed from 18 balls now, but he's perished trying to hit another maximum. And Matt Short wins the battle. Just pulled his leg back slightly. And straight up in the air, well caught in the end. Walter departs for 19, and the Heat now 5 for 150 at the end of the 17.
জানলাটা দিয়ে লাইটটা জ্বালিয়ে দে